Right, now, what I'd like to do here is actually take a question from one of the delegates who's here today. Mark Chadwick from Stadium Garage and the Save Doncaster campaign group. I believe you had a question for the board today. And what I'd like to do is if you could ask that question and I can put it directly to everybody, or do you want me to ask the question for you? You happy with that? Okay, Mark, no problem. So Mark is here. This is a question for everybody. We'll start off again with Nick in just a moment. Can the candidates reassure that the business community, the public and our campaign group, that they will continue the work to reopen Doncaster Sheffield Airport without delays? And additionally, do they have the necessary working relationships with the South Yorkshire Mayor, Oliver Coppard, to collaborate effectively and secure the public funds needed for a decision this summer? And Nick Fletcher from the Conservatives, I'll come to you first.
Thank you. The airport closed because of the lack of support from Doncaster Council and South Yorkshire Mayoral Combined Authority. It's as simple as that. There was offered a 20% stake in the airport. Is this on, by the way? No. Can you do?
Switch up.
Thank you.
There we are.
There was offered a 20% stake in the airport for £20 million, and the council and South Yorkshire Mayoral Combined Authority refused that. They said they would give them a loan. Apparently it was approved, the loan, at the first board, but then went to the second board, actually the South Yorkshire Mayoral Combined Authority, and it never actually even made the meeting. And our current mayor never even raised it. Why was it even in the meeting agenda? The airport closed, and that was a tragic loss. Now that was 20% for 20 million. It's now looking like it's going to cost £145 million. Now the mayor's been talking about they have an operator. They don't have an operator. They have Fly Doncaster, which is 3 directors of Doncaster Council that have set up a company to do that. And they're using Munich Airport International as a consultancy. Now, I think it's all been smoke and mirrors, this. I genuinely do believe it's been smoke and mirrors. And I think we need to get to the truth bit. There's nobody wants that airport open more than me. I think most people in this room realise how much work I put into that airport and the distance that the current mayor put between me and her and even her current councillors, which is absolutely disgraceful. Now, if I am your mayor, I will be transparent. I will make sure that people know. I will include everybody in the meetings that needs to be in the meetings. There'll be no party political agenda. And I will just say, the relationship that I believe that Ros Jones has with Oliver Coppard, relationships are meant to be give and take. And as far as I can see, all it is take from Sheffield. And because Ros is the same party as Oliver Coppard, she will not stand up for us because it means going against the party rules.
And now could I have Doug Wright, please?
Yes, well, is it on?
We're on.
Thank you. Yeah, well, my view is quite simple. Everybody wants an airport, but at what cost? And the fact is, unfortunately, the audit report recently suggested they have to look again properly this summer about the cost to Doncaster and more important, the ratepayers, as I call it. Because 105 million, I think they say they're concerned about. Now, how do we get around this? For once, I agree with the Mr. Fletcher in the fact that I don't trust the South Yorkshire Mayor either. The difference is, although I'm a candidate against Ros Jones, at least for all her faults in the nicest way, she is a decent person at heart and she would not do this deliberately to offend anybody. But the fact is, and this is the problem which I don't know if anybody's going to do about, is that if we get in that situation where nobody, private firm, and you know better than me, are going to actually put money into it, then are we going to lose 105 million or 145 million? Let's face it, for the last 14 years, the previous government has given less, between 18 million and 100 million less to the ratepayers during the last 14 years. And it's a cost to all the people in this council, including beggars, including homeless, including help people, including send people. We've lost all that money, and how are we going to waste money on an airport? The answer is, I don't know, but all I do, I hope whoever gets in makes the right decision. And as for the Cabinet's concerned, well, I think the Cabinet should be fair and honest and not be led by one person in each area.
Thank you. And just let me remind you, the question, I know we've almost been veering off topic, but the question is about, will you continue the work to reopen the airport without delays, and do you have the necessary working relationships with the South Yorkshire Mayor to collaborate and secure the public funds needed for a decision this summer? Turn now to Ross Jones from Labour.
I have already said my ambition, my number one priority is to reopen that airport. I will work with Oliver Coppard. I will work with national government, because you and I all know, with people that's actually saying we want it open, listen to your people. 130,000 can't be wrong. More important, the relationship I've got will actually deliver the funding. I was on the committee that actually approved it to go forward, and it was because agreement couldn't be reached with the appeal at the time that it didn't stop up. We offered to put the money in to keep it open while we got someone else. Didn't come forward. More importantly, we will get that money, we will open that airport, it will bring jobs and growth. 5,000 jobs when it's fully functional. It'll be freight, it'll actually be people going, and it will also be the jewel in the crown economically, medium to long term. I can work with all, because I work for Doncaster, and it's Doncaster that I support, and will continue to support. See, they're agreeing with me, saying, come on, Lord, get it done. More importantly, we want it done because we know it's the right thing for Doncaster, and we will continue to develop. My working relationship is not about parties, it's about making sure I actually represent Doncaster and seek to bring Doncaster to the forefront. Thank you.
And now can I invite Alexander Jones from Reform UK, please.
Well, I believe the airport should never have closed. Regarding reopening the airport, I believe I can work with anybody, regardless of party lines. I've done that for myself in business all my life growing up. So that goes for Oliver Coppard or anyone else. I don't see why that would be a problem. Excuse me. And it's clear Oliver Coppard supports the airport with £89.7 million worth of funding, and I would support that, but I believe also, firstly, we need to get into the council, cut council waste, and address the issues of how much debt the council is currently in before we make absolute commitments to that reopening the airport, as much as I would love to support it. Thank you.
And for the Social Democratic Party, David Bettany.
Hiya. Part of my vision, obviously, if you're going to get bigger than Doncaster, you need an airport. It's a no-brainer. Is the current airport and its plans, are they viable? I don't know, I've not seen the books, but the veneer is it's not. You're going to have to rethink this, put an all-new team together, bring in logistics experts who actually want to and could see the value of coming to Doncaster and moving freight onwards, and also getting an airliner interested to genuinely start taking some of the pressure off Manchester. But they're big conversations. I think it has to happen, but it will not happen under the current group. And as for the Sheffield Mayor, who I stood against, is big into his student politics, he's big into the Labour Party, he's been a Labour Party activist all his life. I would never ask him truthfully for business advice, especially when it comes to industrial logistics, because he would not have a clue. So we will come up with a better plan. I would present you the plan as this is viable. If we need money from the local area, I would say that's a red light, first of all, because if it's a good plan, nobody would offer you a share of it. They would just say every business would jump on it and take the shares up. But it would be my job to say, okay, We're not going to waste your money. It is a viable option. We have put a big team together of different carriers around the world, and so the stipulation would be Doncaster would own 10% of that airport, so we could bring revenue in and start taking some pressure off the council tax. But just if this is going to survive, get off the ground, because it needs public money first, I'll tell you now, international investors are not touching it because it's not pretty enough. Thank you.
And for the British Democrats, Frank Calladine.
Like I was saying earlier, the airport will probably stay open. And yes, I would back it, and I would work with, or try to work with colleagues in the Sheffield Mayoral and Doncaster Council. But the truth of the matter is, we cannot afford it to be a bottomless pit. I mean, how much money does people intend to throw at it? You can't just throw millions or billions into the bottomless pit. And why hasn't any private company come forward to run it? And why did Peel let it go? They've got to let it go for some reason, haven't they? And that is because it clearly wasn't viable. And the idea is we've got to make it viable. We've got to work together on this one. And that is all parties. Drop the party line and work together. Thank you.
And finally, from the Trade Unions and Socialist Coalition, Andy Hiles, please.
The short answer is yes and yes. Well, you know, I'm very open, very easy to sort of usually get along with, and can work with anyone. I've known many people in the Labour Party over the years. Was once a member of the Labour Party. They decided they didn't want me anymore for some reason. I've worked across, you know, I know a number of the candidates or MPs across the area, and I've worked with them in the past. So we will be to work with them. I sometimes think we get too tied up in the costs and the bottom line of this. I am a socialist. We do believe in nationalisation. And I do sometimes think that accountants know the price of everything and the value of nothing. It's something I've often said. And clearly some of the major public infrastructure, like airports, needs public funding. The value it would bring and the add-on value it would bring to business would well outstrip any investment that we made. So I'm fully behind it, the same as I'm fully behind a fully integrated transport system. You know, I'm hot-footing from here down to London. We need, you know, trains, buses that connect, and we need to be connected with the other areas with bus and rail. So a fully integrated, of which the airport is vital, is absolutely essential, not just for Doncaster, but for the development of Yorkshire. And I'm going to leave it there, because I overspoke last time, so I'll give you 30 seconds back.